Hi everyone, this is Nomad Jen. It's time to move and stretch, so grab your mat and let's get started. So to start off, we're just gonna get the body to move. So just freestyle, swing your arms. And the key thing you wanna keep in mind is have very loose knees and let your body go. Just let it go and swing left and right. And then we're gonna raise our hands and we're gonna do a left hand stretch as well as a right hand stretch. Next, we're gonna lift up our hands up in the sky. We're gonna tilt to the left. We're gonna look up and we're gonna tilt to the right. And next, we're just going to rotate. So you as far out as you can, raise your arm and just rotate those hands, and then try and touch your toes, right? Just those basic movement, rotation, up and down, just to get the body moving. Step that left foot forward and in your rotation and bring that foot back. Step that right foot forward in your rotation, bring it back. All this time you're paying attention to how your body feels. And don't forget to breathe. So now let's get on a kneeling position. And when you kneel, the key thing you want to keep in mind is having an straight spine. And as you kneel down, just again continue on those deep breaths in and out. And now we're going to move into some shoulder rotations. So lift your shoulder up if you want it to touch your ears, then pull it back and then shift it down. And you're going to maintain that motion as you rotate those shoulders forward. And we are also going to rotate those shoulders backward. Next, we are going to pick up our hands up in the sky and we're gonna lift them up. We're gonna look up and just breathe into it. See how your spine feels in that movement. Bring your arms forward and back up again. Look to the left, look to the right. And then set those hands down and we are going to move on to the next thing. So don't be afraid to shake it up a bit. Now we're going to get on our hands and knees. So hands and knees again, you want to have something really soft for your knees to kneel on. And the first movement we're going to do is the cat-cow pose. So the cat-cow pose is really good for opening up the spine and the pelvic area. And this is how you're going to be moving. And don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to breathe through this movement. And then, of course, at the top of the movement, we're going to get on child pose. And we're going to try and rotate to the left. Feel that stretch on the side and rotate to the right. And feel that stretch on the side. Put your left hand down and raise your right arm. Put your right hand down and raise your left arm. Then put those hands forward. Back to your hands and knees. We are preparing to get onto a downward dog. Key thing to keep in mind with downward dog, you want that flat spine and feet flat on the ground. So just go as far as your body can get you. And then you're gonna try and run those feet, right? So this is the movement. Just try and run those feet and see how your body feels. Don't forget to breathe deep belly breaths. Feel them all the way into your belly. It's kind of like dancing while you are in this position. So then next you're gonna bring both feet forward and lift yourself up using your feet to ground yourself. Next, you're going to lift your hands up, keeping those hands up. You're gonna try and get into what we call a chair pose. And so we're just gonna shift up and down into that chair pose and really pay attention to how you feel. How are your toes feeling throughout this movement? Next, we bring our arms down and you just try and get into this pose. So we're going to move our hips. You straighten out your hips and then you bend at the knees. And you're going to do a couple of these back and forth, straightening the hips and bending at the knees. It's just a good movement to get some flexibility on the lower abdominals. And I'll show you a side angle on this one too. That way you see the actual movement. So that's how you move. You just go down and up. Next, we're gonna try and pick that left leg and put it in front. And then we're gonna try and set that right knee down. And we're gonna do some back and forth movements to get into a hamstring stretch. So we're trying to stretch that hamstring throughout these movements. And then towards at the very end, you're gonna pick up that left hand and do an arm rotation and set it down. Then now you're just gonna bring your right foot to meet your left foot and up, rise, hands up in the air and all the way down. We're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So your right foot down, your left knee down, and you're gonna do the back and forth rocking movements to get that hamstring stretch. Then, of course, at the very end, do that right hand around the world swipe. Now, both feet back, we're gonna try and step or jump both feet next to your hands and rise up, hands up. And as you get on you put your hands down again. You want to leave that left hand down and try and balance by raising your right hand up. If you can't do that, you can try and get on your elbows and try and do that same movement. So we're going to do that on the left, and then we're also going to do that on the right side. This is so good for that side stretch. And again, use the elbow if you can't get on your arms. Again, finish it up by bringing your feet together and raising your hands to the sky. Okay, so let's now lie all the way down and do some lying stretching exercises. The first one we're going to do is for the upper chest and the neck area. You're going to put your hands forward and look up as far as you can. Next, we are going to bring those knees towards our butt and see if we can bring those hands back and grab those legs. Sorry, not knees, those legs. And then see if you can lift your head up, kind of in a boat position. Then, with your hands down, bring that right leg across the left leg. See how far you can go. Do the same to the left one. Let it cross your right one. The key thing here is to try and keep those shoulders facing forward when you're trying to do the leg movement. And then now let's get into a seated position and bring that back down we are first going to do a side stretch. So you're going to bring your legs up, arms into a T, and drop those legs on the left side and look right to your right hand. You're going to feel a nice spinal stretch. We're going to do the same to the other side, legs on the other side, and you're looking the opposite side. You feel that spinal stretch. You're gonna bring your hands and legs together into this happy baby pose, and if you wobble through it, that's okay. You can just laugh through it like a happy baby, and this is really good for just engaging that spine. Next, we're gonna try and get a little bit of stretch on the back muscles of the glute. So crisscross your legs like this, then bring your hand through and try and push that left knee in. You're going to feel the stretch on your right piriformis muscle. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. So crisscross your left leg onto your right knee. Bring your hand through and push on your right leg and feel that stretch on the left piriformis muscle. Now, with both those side muscles stretched, let's also get into a glute bridge. So feet down, and then you're going to lift your butt up. So imagine a straight line from your knees to your shoulder. You can bring your arms back for a nice opening, and then again, lower your back down gently and pick yourself up. It's a good way to test how you can pick yourself up. Is can you just pick yourself up, or do you need to go on your side to pick yourself up, right? All right, so now let's move into some neck rotations. You're just gonna rotate your neck one way, and then you're also going to rotate your neck the other way and just let loose, like just let your head feel heavy throughout this movement. And then you're gonna try and get that ear to touch your shoulder on both sides. And then next, we're gonna move into some arm movement. So here's one that I really like to do, especially if you are a desk worker and you sit on your desk all day. These are really good to open up your chest area, which tends to get tight because you're always constantly hunched over trying to type. So if you don't have the first method available to you, you can do this one. And you can also challenge yourself by putting your hands together in this manner and seeing how far you can go. So today you might be able to get just this far, and tomorrow or next week you might be able to get a lot more further. So you can add a challenge to this by trying to bend at the hip area, and that really adds a little bit extra challenge into the stretch. Next, you can raise your right hand up, and your left hand is going to be folded back on your back, and you're going to try and touch the two together. The key thing here too is we all have weaknesses, so you're going to find that one side is much more easier than the other side. So we're going to do that on the right side, and then now we're going to do it on the left. Raise your left hand and cross it over. Raise your right hand behind you and try and touch. As you can see, I can't do it on this side. This is as far as I can get, so that's what I'm going to do for today. And then again, add that challenge of bending and be good, feel good. So try and rotate that neck and your hands, and just try and shake things up. Sometimes we hold so much tension on our shoulders, so lean forward and shake things up. Try and tap, get that energy, that dead energy out, and feel so much vibrancy. So we're gonna finish it up again just as we started by swinging. And think about when you started, when you were doing this swing, how did your body feel as compared to now? If you are not able to swing as far as you can you Can you swing as far as you can now? Can you touch your toes much more easier than you were able to? It's just a good way to gauge how you feel. And it's also a good way to end your beautiful session. So this has been a very, very exciting stretching session. I hope you're able to do a couple of these movements. And I like to end everything with sitting down, crisscrossed, my hands clasped together, and we are all gonna say Namaste. Thank you. Bye bye.